Hey, what's going on out there? It's Chris from the Dating Doc, and you're probably going to expect some sort of dating news commentary or advice video. Let's not pretend. This past week, okay, the time of this recording, it's September 13th, and it is 7:32 p.m. here Central Time. It has been one of the heaviest weeks in modern history. Let's not pretend. Whether you agree or disagree with the opinion and free speech of Charlie Kirk, whether you care or don't care about something that happened 24 years ago, which was 9/11, the largest attack on American soil in modern times, or there's some tragedies that also happened on a subway, and also, one that involved a Cuban illegal immigrant. Now, I'm not going to get into news. That's not what I'm going to do. But what I don't want to do is exploit all of this for the algorithms or use it to sensationalize something that it's not. What I want to do with this video is I want to focus on 5 lessons to help us push forward through this week. It has been one of the toughest weeks. And if you are a human, you should care. So without further ado, I'm going to go into the 5 lessons learned to help us heal and continue to connect. Because guess what? This whole channel, this whole company that I do, it's all about connection. And it takes a lot of strength and courage to connect with others in this world that's completely comfortable with just playing with this. So stay tuned, like and subscribe. Let's get into the first tip. So the first tip, right? Talked about how hooked we are on this, right? Whether it's brain rot, tapping, scrolling, swiping, it's gotten nuts, right? To the point that we're more comfortable using that as our adult pacifier than we are building those small bridges to say hi to someone. I've gotten to that age, right? You can call me a boomer, where I do say hi to folks at my local grocery store, right? The employees there. I want them to be seen. I want them to know that I appreciate them. And again, this might seem like something that's old school, right? Or, hey, what's that weird guy doing saying hi to strangers? But we really do need to counter what I call the disappearing neighbor. And it's to the point where, yes, we might be next to each other, but are we really showing up for each other? This first tip, this first reflection, it's all about just those small actions. It's called Kaizen. Kaizen is taking small steps. It's a Japanese term. Kaizen is a Japanese term where you take these small steps that incrementally improve who you are. So whether that's saying hi to your favorite barista at a coffee shop and making eye contact with them, whether it's reaching out to family and friends that you haven't spoken to in a while, because again, you're comfortable staring at this the whole time. Let's counter this notion of the disappearing neighbor and let's start truly connecting. The best way to connect with yourself is learning through others. And with that said, we need connection more than ever. You notice how, I joked around in this first reflection about how I'm that boomer that says hi to the folks at a grocery store. It takes someone with age and wisdom to appreciate this human journey, right? You notice that people over the age of 50 or 60 are more able to have a conversation with a stranger. They don't hesitate to have a 2 to 10 minute conversation, right? Sometimes 30 if you're not careful. And it's one of those things where it's so tragic that it takes this entire week for me to remind y'all that it's okay to say hi to strangers beyond work, beyond your Outlook email, beyond a networking event. Do it when they don't owe you anything back, right? And that's why connection is needed. Okay, this is why I do these social events. A lot of people think, well, I don't care. I don't care to meet someone. I'm not trying to date. Just get out there and socially connect. If social energy, like physical fitness, like mental fitness, going to the library, you go to the gym, work on your physical fitness, we have atrophied when it comes to being social. We're no longer connected. It's to the point that I think children at a daycare, animals are more connected than grown adults who supposedly have the experience to appreciate life. Yet we've gotten to a point where we would rather dissect, divide, and debate. And it's gotten pretty sad. So again, we need connection more than ever. And I hope that you can use that fuel from this entire ugly week that we had and transform it into connecting with others. All right, this might be the hardest one because some people may have a hard stance on it, but we can no longer tolerate local evil. What I mean by local evil, LOCAL, right? Excuse my accent, right? I don't mean LOCO, which is Spanish for crazy. Local evil cannot stand anymore. Okay. And this doesn't mean putting yourself only in physical danger, but I'm completely tired of this bystander culture where you can literally film someone drowning and you'd rather film for clout than put your hand out and save a life. We have things that bullying that's happening online, right? Because of the way someone looks, or because of maybe something someone said by accident or is taken out of context. And then all of a sudden they self-delete. We cannot tolerate evil anymore. Thoughts and prayers, I'm sorry to say it, but whichever entity you believe in is not scouring the internet for your thoughts and prayers. You have to show a little bit of anti-laziness, a little bit of effort. We need to counter evil. I mean, that's what it is. It's no longer left and right. It's no longer your political party. There are some evil, vindictive people out there that are cowardly, that are lazy, that don't want to take accountability. And then there's another part of people that know it's wrong and they don't stand up for others. We're in the FAFO era. FAFO. You should know what that means. If you don't, go ahead and type it in to Google or ChatGPT. FAFO. We need to be in that era. Because if not, what's going to happen is we're going to continue to tolerate evil. We're going to continue to tolerate those that cut people in line. That's, for example, slap kids, that disrespect people online that have disabilities. Are you going to stay on the sidelines, or are you going to be courageous and make the effort to run to that danger instead of standing on the sidelines? And sometimes that danger is nothing but countering online. It's standing up for someone. We can no longer tolerate evil. Now, I might be cheating here because I want to make sure that I capture what I put on my notes here when it comes to this next one, which is it's related to not tolerating evil, but I'm going to read a little bit of it. And I put here, one of the saddest things I've noticed is how quickly some people joke or celebrate online when tragedy strikes. You see this in Facebook or social media groups, TikTok videos, right? They poke fun at it. And a lot of these people don't even have their real face. These are avatar profiles, right? People that hide behind something. First sign of cowardice. Look, free speech is free speech, but you're also free to receive consequences for that. We've seen people lose their job over what is hate speech or lack of human care speech. And yes, they can lose their job because you think about it. You have a boss who has hired you not only for your work ethic or your skills, but your baseline personality. And if you're someone who pokes fun at someone dying simply because you may agree or disagree with their views and they're no longer here and they've left family members, or use the argument, which is a fallacy, use the argument, well, things are happening on the other side of the world and there's tragedies on the other side of the world. So guess what? This person deserved it. That kind of logic is very flawed, right? So this whole dark humor, or people that assume that they can poke fun at someone who more than likely did not want you to get hurt if anything were to happen to you. Yet hypocritically, you put these posts, maybe even poking fun of their kids or their significant other missing that person. And it's in these dark humor groups, and I see that a lot. See, it's very, very pervasive, and you need to shame it. You need to counter it. You need to tell these folks, look, obviously the fact you don't have an avatar, all right, something's wrong with you. Either you feel like you're not accepted in society, find a little self-love. That's how I would counter it. I would tell them that, look, whatever's going on in your life, if you think dark humor makes you feel better because you're ashamed of yourself, look in the mirror first. look in the mirror and go touch grass. Because what's going to happen is these folks that have that kind of resentment, that are antisocial, that poke fun at life being lost, you don't think they're vulnerable enough to become the next perpetrator? All right, the last one, and it wraps up everything. And hopefully you're still listening, you're still watching, you still get value from this. Is look, love is free, man. I don't mean to sound like a hippie. Love is free. And this doesn't mean just simply being nice, okay? Love your job. Try to learn how to love your job. Love the people that you work with, because guess what? You need to have their back. So if they're suffering from things like this, or you want to make sure they're not the person that's going to cause suffering or continue to suffer, love what you're doing. Love to lead. Love to say hi to the neighbor. Love to debate, okay? Have the courage to debate, okay? We have that freedom. Just because of what happened, and I'm not talking about just with Charlie Kirk, I'm talking about other things that happen, right? Whether it's 9/11, whether it's the other side of the world, whether it's the subway issue when it comes to jail time or punishment for certain individuals, right? Debate that. Love requires fire, okay? And there's a lot of people here that either don't love themselves and that are lazy, unmotivated, depressed, and anxious. Whatever that is, you can turn that angst, you can turn that disappointment, you can turn that gray area, those gray clouds, into loving. And it's completely free. I can practice it if I go out right now and I just make eye contact with a man, right? Or a woman, okay? With a man, I can make that eye contact like, hey, cool, how you doing? And it's just, you're recognized. With a woman, well, shoot, she looked good, it's a dating doc. I got to do my thing. But all jokes aside, I'm also going to smile at her and let her know, hey, guess what? You're safe, you're protected, and you are also seen. That is completely free. And yet we don't take advantage of it because, just to recap, we're stuck on this. We're stuck on the division, the debate, right? That's what we've become. We're more than that. We don't have to be predictable. We are completely more than what you see. We are more than what we've been programmed to believe we're supposed to be. Okay. So with that said, this last one, it's all about love, and it's completely zero cost, completely free. So look, that's really what this week has taught me. We need neighbors, connection, courage, accountability, and love. My challenge to you, pick at least one of these lessons and live it out this week. I mean, just imagine if millions of us did that, even in small ways. Well, we could change the world. Thanks for listening. I'll see you in the next video. This is Chris from Dating Doc, signing out. Peace.